Shonda here for another episode of Shonda's Weekly Roundup. I have to start off with a slight confession to make. Yeah, I am an Orpheus. You know, the new sign, the 13th astrological sign that was not newly discovered, but newly marketed, basically. Anybody born between the month or the times of November 20th and December 17th, we are not Sagittarius anymore. I know, it may not seem earth-shattering to some of you, but all this time I thought I was one thing and apparently I'm another. It's funny, I have to admit, I'm not huge into horoscopes. I think it's cool to just check out the traits and you know, just to read it occasionally. I mean, it humors me, it's entertaining. What's funny is that none of the traits have really changed. It's just literally the name that I'm not literally a Sagittarius. That's the only thing. It's just literally just the branding, the identity, the marketing. It's funny. My question regarding all of this is, why now? Why all of a sudden giving everybody an identity crisis by throwing another sign into the mix? What is the purpose? There have been some theories going around saying that, you know, it's all just a distraction or a ploy to get our minds off of everything big that's been happening lately, especially the whole Arizona shooting. And you know what, I can definitely see that, because it's just out of nowhere. This sign has been around for centuries, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now we're going to release it. Like, what is it, part of the WikiLeaks thing? What are you going to tell me next, you know? What else do I know? It's kind of crazy. Funny. You know, it disturbed my weekend a little bit. Speaking of the weekend, most people know, I don't know if you know, but I just recently got a new internship with a local newspaper, so I was excited, woo, to celebrate. Me and some of my girls, we went out clubbing, and we ended up going to this club that was hosting or featuring main characters from BT's game. So we went there, you know, and he was hosting, supposedly. I have to be honest, I didn't see him. I can't vouch that I seen him. I saw a guy enter right before I was leaving. He was short, he had on plaid, possibly could have been him. I'm not completely sure. You know, it was towards the end of the night when he finally did arrive, just saying. But yay! But speaking of the games, just big up. The season premiere was tremendous. All the fans from previous seasons and newly acquired ones were up in uproar and literally made the show the talk of the town. It was trending on Twitter like crazy. Opening season premiere had 7.7 million viewers, which is crazy, especially considering that while it was on the CW, it averaged about 1.8 million viewers weekly. So that's a huge jump. So big up to BET for promotions. Big up to, I don't know, just everybody involved in that project. That's phenomenal. Definitely capturing attention. I read about it in the advertising age. So capturing some mainstream attention. BET get it. Another thing that was big in the paper was the upcoming Facebook and LinkedIn going public. Their upcoming IPO. Now, they didn't give it a distinct date. They didn't say, oh, they're going public this time. But a lot of big companies are definitely putting money behind these two and you know, and preparing them to be launched publicly into public society. Sometime during 2011, that these two social networking giants are going to go public, which is amazing. Very exciting. Facebook has approximately 500 million users. LinkedIn, you know, a little smaller, hitting 80 million. So, I mean, it's interesting. One thing to look out for definitely is when these companies go public, just kind of watching how their strategies shift and how their cultures change, if they do change. I mean, they have to, because it's no longer, I mean, Facebook and LinkedIn, these companies, their numbers are their network. How many users, how many people using, how frequently are they on, these are their metrics. Now, they have to convert these metrics into something more tangible, to saying, okay, we have this many users and this is earned in, their net worth is turning this much money, or this earning us this much revenue in advertising, or I don't know, subscriptions, or whatever they're going to do. So it's just interesting to see how they're going to change their strategy and change the company and reposition it due to the shift in value or in focus. So keep your eyes open for that. A company called New South Publishing. And what this company is doing is they're taking a classic, Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn, and they're editing it. But the only word they're editing is N-word. They're taking that out. They're going to replace it with slave instead. And the whole idea behind this change is to make the classic usable. It's been banned across the country in high school. I've never read the book. I need to add that to my book list, just because it is a classic. You know, just to say, hey, I've read it, or just to see what Mark Twain was working with. But yeah, the N-word is mentioned reportedly 219 times throughout the novel. So what New South is doing is mollifying the term, replacing it with slave. Actually, it's been a lot of controversy. People on both sides very adamant. People that are for the change are saying, hey, you know, who wants to read that word or have to be forced to look on that word 219 times, you know, that the book can make it saying its value, its point, its premise isn't changed by altering that one word, and that just removing it makes it just easier read and a better read for all involved. And on the opposite end of the spectrum are people saying, hey, you know, it's art, it's literature, don't change it. Yes, it's derogatory. Yes, you know, it's not comfortable for most of us. But what we're doing when you alter that, you know, you're opening a whole can of worms. So another book comes along and we don't like this term, so we're going to take that out. I mean, where is the line drawn? And I have to say, I side with the latter. I agree. Like, it's art, it's literature. I think our thing is, and our best way to handle it is for teachers teaching the book or using the book in class, definitely have a conversation with the students beforehand. Offer them the option, you know, now that it is available, of either using the traditional, the original version, or the edited. And definitely have a discussion about, you know, the use of the word, and how it's affecting the book. I mean, there's been some talk or debate about whether or not Mark Twain himself, whether he was just satirically depicting the South and was a critic of it, or whether he was in agreement with its practices and its ideals. So, you know, open up that can, turn it into a learning lesson. I think the best thing we can do, especially with things from the past, is look at them, critique them, analyze them. But I don't think we should go back and change them. I think the past should remain the past. It's a learning, you know, example. Present is the thing that we need to alter and change and shift. That's just my perspective. This has been Shonda's Weekly Roundup. Thank you so much for listening. And definitely appreciate your support. All right. So until next time, see ya. Bye.